game. Like Goldberg was saying on the desk, this is a very high execution floor draft to try and meet. We'll see what they can get done. MNM NYYRIKKI light up the sky with the flares.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So, I just said NYYRIKKI. That's not even close to who you are. Oh, we've got a fight going on though. Roy Cannon is in a lot of trouble. Vex doesn't really have solutions. Looking for the wall, but can't find it. First blood goes over to Rakan. Abagnale talked on desk already about how important he could be. A little bit of extra gold in his pocket might make it even more. So it could, well, I mean, sport's not really the greatest one to get your first blood on, but it will definitely help.
Yeah, it's not ideal that the gold goes immediately to Abagnale, especially when you consider the fact that they had enough time to obviously reset. Picks up the boots. Maybe it helps him in the lane, right? I think, all right, weird thing to track.
Right.
If he manages to walk out of auto attack range of Mishigu
at any stage.
At any stage, we know why. And I'm going to leave the point there. Junglers both starting on the bottom side. Kana should probably have a good idea that he's going to be on a ward here and the sweeper will come through. There you go. So they know. And they will share the XP together. Red buff start, blue buff start for the Sidere on the opposite side. So should end up, in theory, on the top side, which makes sense. You've got Toshka and Fiora. I wouldn't necessarily call it like a super volatile lane from the get-go. Obviously, if Fiora gets an early lead, and especially a health advantage like this, Fiora can pilot the lane relatively comfortably. It's a bit of a mind game, right? Yeah. As Renekton, typically your trade pattern is slice in, Ruthless Predator, cold meat, dice out. Difficult to do against somebody that can very easily block your stun. Not only that, repel it back to you. If you stun the Fiora while she's got the riposte up, she's going to stun you back. And as easy as that. Abagnale gets a knock up. That's an early ignite.
Ignite really early. Galio trying to get away. Will be forced to flash away. And Mishigu putting down the damage, but looks to get one more auto down onto Aztor. So both marksmen being left around. Half health Aztor maybe a little lower. Dr. Chaos not feeling too great about that one. But the question for me really is, Rakan having those boots, yeah, it's not the biggest thing in the world as he's going to be using those to step away from Jinx.
He would have taken an auto attack. There we go. We found the value, baby.
Game one. But the desk was saying this is such an obvious win for MNM in the bot side because Galio just super well into the Rakan. We've got this Jinx, which is going to do a lot of work. It's going to be able to be pretty safe.
Yeah.
Getting an early kill onto Rakan, maybe making his engages a little more aggressive, maybe being able to avoid a little bit of the poke damage on the return, or being able to stay a little bit safer as top lane we jump back to as damage exchange back and forth. Would this be notable in the bot lane potentially?
Yeah, maybe. I think we'll have to track us. Okay.
Batista, that's a nice riposte from Batilska. Actually, damage coming down. Yeah, whew. In the jungle though, Kana needs to be careful.
Sonic Wave, it's coming
he's
up.
Thinking about it, he's waiting for the call, but he's not going to be able to land it and will back away before anyone can come up to help the jungler. And there's a teleport coming in for MNM, but great return play from the top laner from NYYRIKKI.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the annoying part about riposte. It's not just like a repel spell that slows, it also slows your attack speed. So if you get hit by that and you see it there, Vista's like, where are my auto attacks going? They're not even there. And you guys at home can't see I'm motioning.
I was like, you're doing these really elaborate motions. We're not on camera at the moment, so you know.
I'm getting carried away in the studio. Yeah, so Babista just can't auto attack to finish up the kill. Toshka just has more raw stats because he got hit by the riposte. It's just a very frustrating thing to have to deal with, and you have to kind of do these very weirdly timed Ruthless Predators instead, where you don't necessarily get the full value out of it, maybe that you was hoping for, because maybe your cooldowns aren't in the order that you want them to be in. Kana,
I think Gnarly could be in trouble, kind of trying to chase him forward, but dives away onto the Siege, who is there. Aerial on the side, also putting some damage down onto the Vex. We haven't talked that much about the mid lane matchup. Of course, Royal Cannon giving up first blood is not optimal on an invade, but since then, not that much has been happening in the mid lane. This artillery mage, as Goldberg so aptly put it, suggesting that he made up that term. He didn't.
No, he didn't.
That's just what they're called. But in the top side, Podolska
dodging
and missing away from the riposte now. And this time around, the Crocodile could have in between claws. We're going to move to the big team fight. Podolska winning it, but Canna in trouble. He's going to get shot down. MNM lose 2 members across the map. But again, Podolska can't keep getting away with this.
MNM are just getting dismantled at every small instance that they possibly could be right now. They're losing out on the 1v1 in the top lane. They're losing out on this invade on the bottom side. I mean, it's not even close, the situation so far. I mean, you can make an argument for the first 1v1 in the top lane. Yeah, Kana looking for this Gromp counter jungle. Unfortunately, NYYRIKKI are just there. It's as simple as that. You can't really escape when you're that deep and getting flanked and pincered. in this kind of motion. Dr. Chaos in the bush can't really do anything to save his jungler. And that's just 2 easy kills across the map for NYYRIKKI, and already 2,000 gold up 5.5 minutes in. It's really not the position you want to be in as any team, let alone, you know, a team that's going to have to be dealing with a whole bunch of poke. Now, granted, that's kind of stayed on the desk. You have engage options as MNM, as Chompers land.
In on to Abagnale, the damage is there, taunted, he's going to be burning glow, but Mishigu is going to be attacked by Azator. It's going to be 3v2, Kanna coming in to collapse on Varus. I think he knows he's dead, might look forward to try and grab a little bit of farm, if nothing else. And Abagnale actually, with the boots, manages to get away. However, Azator, his feet are bare, so he goes down.
Oh, he just bought boots. He just bought
I want
boots
everyone to
after
roll
that.
it back during that play.
So
that actually worked.
Yes, but it's good from MNM to try, you know, capitalize, punish something there. Royal Cannon. Oh, and Bobista are going to find the Sidere there. He's execute the Grump.
Bravo, damage coming down. I don't think he's getting away. Arrow is moving on forward with the lasers, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and it's an easy kill going over to Royal Cannon in the end. MNM picking up a couple of nice plays in response, but NYYRIKKI still looking on top. 1,000 gold to the good at 6.5 minutes. I know the gold leads early game can be pretty crucial because that's when item breakpoints are the most impactful, or in terms of where the biggest difference is made. And let's look at where these leads are. Top lane, 500 gold. It might seem small, but with Tosca, we know what this player can do with a lead.
Yeah, and, you know, I think if we talk about what these competitions realistically want to do when it comes into the mid stages of the game, Potosha's going to just be on the sideline. He's going to pick up his Mythic. He might pick up a Hull Breaker. We'll have to wait and see whether or not he gets, you know, that deep into the side lane technology. And then he's just going to split push. It is as simple as that. You've got Eero and Azator on these poke, you know, champions. I imagine, given Azator's double longsword, that this is probably going to be lethality.
Looking for that poke as
But actually, he has lethal tempo. No, I'll take it back. So yeah, no, actually, in fact, that's just going into Nuke River. I beg your pardon. So it's going to be on hit. Still offers the poke damage.
Yeah.
It's not quite as, you know, hefty as lethality, but he will have the poke available. And you're probably just looking at, if MNM try and start off objectives because they know they're losing out on the side lane game later on in the game, you've always got the poke to get them off it. And you've always got the mobility and the disengage from the Lee Sin and the Rakan to try and get your poke champions out. And for MNM, it's just probably about straight team fighting. I don't think there's anything else to say about it. Front to back, a little bit of dive, but make sure you keep Mishigu in a position where you can get the war attacks up and off and follow up on whatever MNM's frontliners are doing.
But the problem being, if you fall too far behind, the front to back is going to be problematic. We've got the Lee Sin hanging around, where Mishigu is also giving a lot of respect and standing back away from the NYYRIKKI. Don't want to get engaged on by the Rakan. Not yet level 6, but shouldn't be too far off. You've got to imagine a couple of waves will do it, but they've got no jungle spot anymore as Lee Sin has moved on back. But we've got Rift Herald on spawn. Junglers both looking towards that side of the map. We've got Kanna going to be there much earlier because he's already in the neighborhood. Has actually just started up with Rift Herald. Could we see a fight? Because it looks like MNM are in a decent position to take this one.
Yeah, looks like they have mid lane priority. Seems Dr. Chaos pathing his way up as well, just to ensure that they will have Nub's advantage. And NYYRIKKI just don't really look interested in this Herald whatsoever. And Dr. Chaos even shows himself in the mid lane and says, hey, I'm the mid laner now for a couple of seconds. Says, oh, Bobista.
This lane is not good for him anymore.
No, he's not getting the good end of any of these trades, it feels like, from start to finish. It's item advantage as well, very deadly. NYYRIKKI reading this play, Decidere on the top side. Eero already rotating up as well. Potosha's going to take this.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. Drops down the ultimate, looking for the heal. Decidere goes on through, but Kanna actually surprisingly long time. The healing comes out. Kanna actually getting away. As Decidere missing out on the Sonic Wave. There's the disintegration wave. It will disintegrate the Crocodile this time around as Kanna... Ooh, he gets hit, but he's not going to go in. But Vex gets the kill. We're moving immediately down to the bot side because these teams don't want to let up. As Abagnale needs to be careful firing from the backline is Mishigu, but with Galio going down as those steps forward with those arrows flying, but isn't going to be able to take down the Jinx.
No, but they get the Galio. They pick up the kill. I think NYYRIKKI's still just going to be happy with that trade all in all. And even on the top side, right? We look at this replay here. Connor, so much damage comes out of Potosha. You kind of forget that Fiora is capable of doing this much damage even this early on. The knockback, great. The kick as well, pretty decent from Decidere, but MNM just kind of piloted that one to near perfection to be able to almost make their way out. Royal Cannon finds the snipe. Oh no.
Should he follow through on the Sonic Wave to try and flip the kill?
I don't feel like he recognized that he was going to land it. To be fair, it was tip of the spear stuff, so...
It's not a spear. It's a ball.
You guys can't see how I'm looking at him right now.
Yeah, he is not pleased with me.
Very disappointed. 2 minutes until this dragon. Herald, of course, was in Kana's hands, or Kana's hands, rather, at the top lane. Still not yet to use it. And it seems like NYYRIKKI, they're going to just go for this this jungle camp here. Going to find this chicken camp quite comfortably. MNM knows what's going on, but kind of more interested in his wolf camp. And hand back up to the top side. This is the worry.
And Babisa just can't stand toe-to-toe with Potoska right now. Looking for the dive, looking for the escape. Potoska will be able to survive, sliding away with the minion wave under tower. Is this top lane done?
Yeah. I looked over at Will. I was thinking about it. I was running the mental calculations. If Renekton's losing at 11 minutes into the game in this matchup, I've got a feeling it's probably done. Gold difference between the two top laners is actually not that big, but I think Potoska on the reset should just about... Can we flip back? Okay, yeah, gonna have enough for his mythic. Looks like it's gonna be Divine Sunder. No Gold Drinker. Okay, take that back. And now I want to know whether he goes Hullbreaker.
Well, this is the thing. Does he need it? Is it?
No, because this is the thing. So Hullbreaker, I was having a conversation about this with, actually not even the top laner, but the information came from the player's top laner. You don't necessarily need like the stats from Hullbreaker in every side lane champion that you play.
Yes.
Now Hullbreaker's great at breaking the side lane towers, but it just can't play the game at this point. It's great, obviously, for the extra damage for towers, you buff the cannon groups, but the main draw for a lot of these top laners at the moment is the fact that it provides so many raw stats when isolated, especially because a lot of the bruiser items just got hit. That's one of the bigger draws, and it's why you're seeing so many Hullbreaker rushes, etc. Now, Potoska could still build it, and considering how I'm expecting Potoska to play on this side lane very alone like this, 24/7.
A lot of trouble with Roy Cannon there, but it's a good riposte. He's going to try and find his way out, cut his way out.
God.
But the damage is coming through. He was thinking about going into 2v1. And you know what? I think he heard you because he's thinking about it. Doesn't have any support from either lane, but there's no one else from MNM in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Who actually gets away in the side, though. Galio looking for the gates. It's a 3v2 down here. Can NYYRIKKI survive as Abagnale charms and jumps? And again, another play that could have become something actually just turns into a dragon take, potentially for NYYRIKKI. Kana has spotted it out, but won't go in.
I don't think
he's
he did.
doing that one, but
Oh,
the
no.
looking for the dive. The damage is there, and I mean...
All right. Don't even finish your sentence. I'm just going to say MNM are on a timer.
Right.
MNM are on a timer.
What's the timer?
Right now. The
How
timer
long?
is Fiora's going to take over the game very quickly on this side lane. Someone needs to match her. And what makes this worse is just about every CC that comes out of MNM is predictable.
Okay.
With the exception of Ruthless Predator, which even that you can kind of respond to if you kind of read movement, but even again, that's the only mind gameable CC.
Yeah.
I get, if you want to get semantic, free talent strike off Zinzao, but that's about it. If Vector's going to fear you, it's relatively obvious. You've queued, you've given yourself the Gloom Stack, there's the visible bar. When it comes to Jinx Chompers, just QW over them, that's fine. All of Galio's kit is repostable. So, right now, I don't see a feasible way for MNM to deal with this Fiora on the side lane for the foreseeable future. And he's almost, I mean, he almost 2v1 the solo lanes already. So, this is a pretty big problem. We'll track how far out of control Potoska gets. For now, I feel like MNM really need to press the issue on the bottom side of the map, or towards the mid lane. They just need to find some kind of avenue that they can lean on reliably, because right now, sitting 2,500 gold down, kind of across the board. I guess they currently have a lead 80 to 80 in the item department, but that could change very quickly with a reset out of Azator right here. They need to do something to give themselves something to lean on, some kind of leverage, because right now, I mean, objective bounties are procced at a 2,500 gold deficit. That should give you an idea of how far behind they are in XP, gold, everything. Exactly, yeah.
That's a great indicator, because of course, it's so easy to look at the top bar and go like, oh, the gold lead is this. You can look at the items, but it feels so bad for MNM right now, because in the top line, how many members of MNM do you need to pile onto this Fiora to kill her without necessarily losing a member, as that's the first bounty proc?
Yeah, first bounty proc, that's going to feel nice. Well, we've already tested the 2v1 number.
Didn't really work.
So, 3v1?
Well, I mean, we could give it a try. Of course, final game of the day, Veneer versus Astrala. Shut up and bottom. I like those little ones. It's like the adverts in the middle of a TV show.
Yeah.
It's like, after this, I didn't have a good line for that, actually.
Really, you didn't have a good...
I'm not quick with words.
It's your job to be quick with words.
Don't worry about it. Oh, dear. NYYRIKKI. Moving down the mid lane, Fiora, of course, isn't there. Moving bot to try and deal with Mishigu, who definitely doesn't want to see Fiora anywhere near him as Dr. Chaos dives away from the attempted knock-up from Aero. And this has kind of become the story of Petoska, because sometimes NYYRIKKI games become the story of Petoska. This time, definitely for the right reasons.
Yeah, it does happen quite frequently. Like you say, it's either the right or wrong reasons. There's never a... Because like there's not often a middle ground with Petoska when it comes to performances like these. And yeah, on the Fiora, prime position to take over the game. Looks like he's going to be going into the Ravenous Hydra second. So he is really, really playing just strictly for the 1v1. He doesn't care about the towers. He knows he's going to blow them up quickly. Why play for the towers if you can just decimate whoever's in front of you anyway? With your build buff, and hell, could still go whole for like third, but at this point, if you're going Ravenous, just go for another damage item after the fact. Yeah. Now, MNM, they're going to pick up the Herald, and that's another, you know, objective bounty go in their back pocket. And it is 500 gold across the team, so I think it's 100 gold per player extra. And these small little, you know, pickups are going to start to make the difference until the objective bounties do drop off. And just for a reminder for people at home, the way that objective bounties work, it's a rough guesstimation on the game's part to assess how far behind the team is in all of the measurable metrics. I don't think it measures items, but it definitely measures, obviously, individual gold leads, XP, and neutral objectives, including towers. Plus towers, because towers are neutral objectives. Yeah. So neutral objective leads, towers, and that's how objective bounties are effectively activated or deactivated. So it's why, despite there only being a 2,000 gold lead or difference between the two teams, MNM find themselves in a position where they have the objective bounties available to them, as Petoska has finished up his second ion already.
Ravenous Hydra, as you mentioned, he's going to be an absolute monster, of course, with not going for that hull breaker also means that he's going to be terrifying in team fights as well, because he's not losing out on any of the value of the item. Yes.
Oh no, I wanted you to finish the point. I apologize.
You put your hand up and I was like, okay.
So what I wanted to say, now that we're seeing these two teams sort of butt heads in the mid lane here, the theorization was NYYRIKKI wouldn't have priority on these objectives. Right now they've actually shifted away to deal with the Herald, so maybe they won't. But they have all of the poke to try and dissuade MNM, whilst Fiora would be on the side lane, but they're going for something.
Engage, but they can't find anything. Diving on forward is the Vex, but Raw Cannon really doesn't have that much follow-up. NYYRIKKI lose a couple of health bars, but no members. As we're going to see the re-engage coming from Raw Cannon diving away. Lee Sin has to smite for health, which could be big around this regional objective. But now MNM, they're being poked out. That's the kill onto Vex, and now it's a full retreat. There's the second. Dr. Chaos tries to march away, won't be able to do so, goes down for the third kill of the fight. And you know what? NYYRIKKI, it almost looked bad for them until it really didn't.
It really, it looked dire to start things off with. Considering dropping so low, but MNM, they're just losing health. I don't even know where the damage is coming from, to be honest with you. It's just, again, it's the range of, you know, the Varus being able to play max range of the hours and then being able to get into range to auto attack. It's, of course, the Lifeform Disintegration rate as well on the back side of things, and Petoska, I think, was able to riposte some kind of CC. It might have actually just been the Beast again in the middle of the team fight and absolutely obliterate him. We'll get a look at it in the replay. And like we said, it didn't really start off too great. Abagnale gets chunked out. Ultimate already blown. And you can see this really almost gets executed. Yeah, it's the poke that comes out from both ultimates from Ero and Azator. And yeah, Ruthless Predator stun just means the Beast doesn't really get to play the game because it's riposted straight back into his face. Dr. Chaos recognizes he's dead to right, no flash. Holds it for another day. And that's 3 dragons to NYYRIKKI. In a position where, whilst admittedly, yes, I feel like they probably would have been playing through the bottom side anyway. Varus, a bit of a lane counter to Jinx for multiple different reasons. Typically, it's towards that level 6 mark where you have a lot of all-in potential with your duo lane. It's been able to take control of the bottom side. It's just been NYYRIKKI favored. MNM haven't really had much of a say in it, whilst they were also losing heavily on the top side. MNM, they're going for the 2v1 here. And I'm going to tell you how this is going to go. Okay. Petoska's going to murder Bobista.
Right.
And actually, Petoska, if he's got his thinking cap on, he's going to see he's been gloomed. So he knows that Vex is likely in the area, and it doesn't look like Royal Cannon actually has much of a clue about it, as the TP flank's going to come in, so they're looking for a fight on the top side instead. They want a 4v4. Kana could get caught out here on vision.
Needs to be careful. The damage coming down is big, and it won't be a 4v4. It'll be a 3v4 with the Zinzao being taken out of the equation. But though Aero is in a similar predicament, will go down as Jinx with the shutdown. So they do even things up on both sides, but Aztor now putting the damage through, and that's going to be Royal Cannon's day destroyed once again. As we see Fiora moving on up, pings go down towards the Baron buff. 21 minutes into the game, NYYRIKKI have such a commanding lead.
Yeah, they do, and with the mid and jungler down, it looks like it's probably going to be a feasible takedown. I don't think MNM are in any position to contest this. Mishiku had to reset because he was in the wrong side of the jungle. Abinale was chasing him out. Couldn't find him, doesn't matter. They will find the Baron, and NYYRIKKI clinging on to dear life for this potential playoff spot. Riddle dropping that game earlier does give probably a semblance of hope at the very least. You know, for NYYRIKKI, for Astralis, after this, MNM, if they lose this, it feels doomed. It hurts, it feels, you know, almost over at this point. So, need to see something from them, but it just feels so difficult. Looking at this game top down, who deals with Patoshka? You guys don't necessarily, as MNM, have like a very consistent way of engaging that's going to be reliable.
Yes.
And the issue is, even if you do find that, the Sitter is always going to be there with the kick, Abinale is always going to be relatively in position to peel with his own CC. And, you know, with the summoner spells up for Aero and for Azator, a lot of self-peel between them as well for the ultimate coming out from Varus to lock down any divers. So, I feel like the options are just so slim for MNM. I don't even know what they can realistically do. You try to go for Patoshka, Patoshka probably just walks out. You try and team fight 5v5, 4v4, you probably just die. You try and look for picks, but again, the people that are going to be going for these, you know, sort of dips into fog, your own fog of war, it's going to be these mobile members like Destroyer and Abinale, and if you're not able to immediately lock them down, chain CC them, they just walk out like what we just saw there.
MNM Canada goes to half health, but they're looking towards Aero. That's a lot of damage being thrown through, but Vel'Koz can flash away. NYYRIKKI actually make it out without losing any members. Dr. Chaos looking to force something through, but will go down, and on the backside, Patoshka is tearing the team to shreds. Remember, they have the Baron buff. Can they take the base?
They can crack open the base at the very least, I think, will Bovista.
Vel'Koz teleporting in.
Yeah, they... Is this a call to end? I'm not too sure. 20 seconds. 10 on Dr. Chaos. I think they can do it. I think if they really push for it, they could. It's just about whether they really want to risk it. And I think given NYYRIKKI's position in the table, I think given the fact of how important this game is to keep their playoff hopes alive, they're just going to go for the 2 inhibitors, and I think this just makes the most sense. Confirm the inhibitor lockdown, go back to base. Hell, you can even just walk back. Oh, they're not going to quite get it. That recall from Abinale super early on means that all attacks don't come in. Patoshka walks back to the top side, and have they overstayed for this Infernal Soul now? That's the next question, because 10 seconds on that, Patoshka has TP, he's going to have 4 resources, a recall, it looks like he purchased a GA.
Oh, looking towards the Vistas. Aztor over the wall doing so much damage. That's the pickup, and now NYYRIKKI are turning away from the Dragon and turning towards the fight. Patoshka, we've tried 1, we've tried 2, we've tried 3. How about 4? Dives on forward, gets caught up with the CC, and will flee, but Abinale follows through, picks up another. It's Dr. Chaos this time around, as the Cedar on the side has the kick. Mishiku will be able to match flash for flash, as Lee Sin actually taking a decent amount of damage, doesn't go down. Will in the end though, but I don't think it matters, as NYYRIKKI march onward. They're trying to take down as many members. The inhibitor has now been destroyed. And with this minion wave, they got one coming in bot in relatively short order. NYYRIKKI will be the ones winning this massive, massive game. Their hopes are a little bit more alive than MNM's. Although, that being said,
they don't want to risk it.
Yeah, again, it's giving a lot of respect.
Again, though, I just have to refer to the position and the stakes inside of this game. Why risk it when you can just play it slow and confirm the win? There's not any real need to try and rush a victory here.
They're going to try and take another fight, potentially. Remember, Patoshka's out on the Dragon trying to get soul for them, so that should be secure. Teleport coming in on side. The Dragon's actually not that low, so MNM are looking to try and take this one. They've overstayed. NYYRIKKI will be able to get away. Azator dives on out, but Abinale's gone in. They will pick up the first kill of the fight as Kana goes down as well. NYYRIKKI have continued this team fight so long, but Tosca needs to be careful. Disintegration Ray is used to zone as Fiora goes back in. Can he get some damage? But Bista will get the kill before going down. And Mishigu is kiting away. Fiora chasing down. Will he have the last auto attack? Goes to Resurrect. Red team, NYYRIKKI, red buff gets the last kill of the team fight. And you know what? This time around, I think it will be the game. NYYRIKKI don't need to play it safe anymore. There's no one to defend. Their minions have done the hard work for them. MNM, not the end of their season yet, but it's in sight. NYYRIKKI fight on, trying to get towards playoffs.
Yeah, NYYRIKKI put themselves in such a strong position ahead of MNM.